All right, today I'm gonna show you guys how to do a video that looks like this.
The Eagle has landed. The Eagle has landed.
Okay, so today I'm gonna be shooting for Almanac Brew. I hit them up because I was like, hey, I have a cool idea. And they said, yeah, we'll send you some beer to make something cool. And so they did. And now we're gonna make something really cool that I think that I've had in my head. I haven't slept much, but I think this is gonna be a pretty cool idea. We got a lot of mirrors. We got a TV. We're gonna make an infinity tunnel. I don't know if that's what it's called. If not, trademark. And yeah, and these neon signs that have nothing to do with beer, just because I think they're cool. And also, you know, burgers, because we made burger stuff, so. So you might be looking at this right now and wondering what the hell all this is and that it looks like a bunch of junk. Well, actually, this concept that I came up with, I think has actually turned out pretty cool. It took us a lot of time. It took me 5 hours to figure this out. But what I've done is I got these mirrors from Home Depot. These are all mirrors, and I put them into a triangle facing inward, so it gives kind of almost a prism effect. And then what I've done is put my product, which is the beer, right over here on a rotating table, but lower through a stick, and then have my TV as our projecting surface, and it's projecting inside into this whole triangle mirror. And then I have my 1DX on the slider, Edelkrone, and I have everything motorized because I'm gonna do these really cool effects, and the only way to do those is to have precise precision, and that's why I like using this. And then I've taken my office lamp and I put it on a C-stand, and then this is gonna be our kind of side or rim light right there. And then coming over here, I have the Aperture 300G, and that's gonna be my top light. And we're using barn doors and a piece of paper towel as my diffusion because I don't want it that hard. And then the last thing, this little fancy boy, is my Aperture MW, and we're just using that as our fill light. And boom. And the reason why I have them a lot closer into the side is because if we had them back here and this thing, it's causing a lot of reflections on the TV. But if we can bring them up to the side and a little bit closer, that whole problem goes away. And then lastly, this is the fun part, is I have all these different backdrops that I've pre-selected for Motion Array, not sponsored by them. I just like using them because I've used them for a long time and this is what I had access to. And we're gonna have all these different space and retro backgrounds. And so this is the first one that I got right here. Play it. Boom. Pretty damn cool. Okay, so it's been a little bit of exhausting and taxing day. This has been a lot harder than I thought. The trouble that I'm having is I'm trying to make this look very cool, this unique style, but at the same time, I don't want to detract away from the beer itself or the product. And so I'm gonna kind of take a break for tonight. It's actually pretty late, and I'm just gonna take the footage and look over it, and then I can kind of formulate a plan and go back in with a better idea of how I want to shoot everything. So sometimes just take a break, step away from it, and then come back to it, especially if you're working at home and you have enough time to work on these product videos. There is no rush to make it great. After looking through my footage and trying to deliberate what I wanted to do and getting a good night's sleep, I actually sent my footage over to my good friend, Joey Palmerus, who is an amazing filmmaker in Finland. Check out his work. And he came up with a really cool idea to take my trippy look and then make it into a mosaic. And so now what I'm gonna do is reshoot some of the stuff because I know some of my shots weren't exactly what I wanted. And I'm gonna take wides of this whole trippy effect and I'm gonna add them together in After Effects to make it look like there's movement. And so we're just on sticks on a 16-35. We got the can spinning over there and we're gonna have the TV playing these different backdrops that I've now selected specifically. So now I'm gonna get close-up details of the product or the beer, which is always important. I'm using the 100 macro. We've now brought in the dome because we want to do something a little bit softer. And now since we're closer, we're not really worried about the reflection because we're not gonna be able to see it. We have the aperture still on the top as our top light, and then we still have my office light is what it's called. We're gonna take some water and we're gonna spritz it on to give like a nice, like the can is very cold look. I'm back here, we just don't have much light on. So you see how I have the camera on the back side now with the TV. We noticed while we were shooting that it's pretty cool that the TV's causing this really cool reflection onto the can with the different colors. So we decided that we would reverse the camera and get some detail shots that way too, just to see if they work, you know, always trying to experiment and try new things. I also feel like the neighbor from Home Improvement right now. It may look like I'm sitting down a lot in my tutorials, but I'm actually doing this for you guys because our apartment's very small. If I stand up, then I'm blocking everything. So the next thing that we're doing is we have our green screen set up, and this is how we're gonna create our endless loop shot with the astronaut. What we're gonna do first is just get the can by itself on the green screen, and then we're gonna use that with the astronaut behind, and we're gonna shoot the astronaut separately. But then we also have to do a reflecting shot to create this endless loop. And so we're gonna actually be in the point of the view of the astronaut. And so we have to shoot the cam both ways, rotating both ways and reflecting both ways. So it's a little bit complicated. I've drawn it out like about 30 times just to make sure. I'm just gonna shoot everything because to be safe, I don't wanna have to reset this up afterwards. So it's safer just to shoot everything more than once and then go into the editing bay with extra footage. For our green screen, I'm using a Savage backdrop roll. These I just like a lot better than using the cloth because it's super smooth and even and gives you a very clean look. We have our object on the display rotation table, but we have it pushed away from the background because the more you have it pushed away, the blurrier the background is, the more it's gonna separate, which is good. We have our desk, not my desk, I keep saying it, office light to reflect on the same side. I'm trying to keep the lighting very similar so that it doesn't throw people off. But instead now what we did is we switched to the lantern on the top right here. And the reason for that is because it's not only giving a top and backlight, but it's also lighting up the background. And this is very smooth. And now we have the dome really close because it's gonna give a soft look. So ideally this is actually gonna look a lot nicer than the other lit shots. But the reason why I couldn't do that before is because we had the giant silver dome in the way. So. Reaching. Okay, so this is our final shot. As you can see, I'm in my handy dandy astronaut suit. I actually got this for a film that I did, a passion project of San Francisco, of exploring SF. You can check it out on my page. But nevertheless, all we did really is keep our lighting set up the same. And we moved a lot farther away. So we have the Godox now right there. It's really hot in this thing. Godox right there. We have the lantern up higher and farther back. And we also have the yellow tube light, office light to the side. So it's gonna be the same lighting. And all I'm gonna have Kendall do is take my camera and move slowly backwards as I'm reaching so we can replicate the shot. All right, let's do this. Let's turn these bad boys on. Batty 1, batty 2, and I think I'm gonna need your help with this. Oh, also, sorry, we have a green screen on here because this is where the reflection's gonna come off of. So Kendall nicely enough cut out a piece of cardboard for the green screen. Cardboard background.
Construction paper.
Construction paper. Savage backdrop.
There you go.
Sounds like I'm plugging them.
Chopping it up.
All right. I need help with this. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, questions, please ask me. And I hope that you subscribe and you keep following my channel. Astronaut thumbs up. All right, so I wanted to start my videos off a little bit differently. I wanted to do this face-to-face. I know it's not a face-to-face, but I wanted to do this because I want to be a little bit more personable so you guys get to know me and I can explain my tutorials a little bit better. The first thing I want to start with is I want to thank everybody for all the overwhelming support. I honestly, my channel's changed so much. I was posting videos for fun and all of a sudden people started taking notice to it, and I'm super appreciative of that. It's super weird as an artist putting yourself out there and, you know, not knowing what people are going to react like. And I'm just a person, I have a lot of ideas and I love creating. That's my first and foremost thing. And to hear that people are learning from my tutorials, hear that people are getting jobs from my tutorials, and people want to keep learning from what I'm doing is super amazing. And I support all of you guys to keep creating. That's all what this is all about. I love creating and I hope that it inspires other people to create. So keep doing that. And now going into the tutorial, I want to do this because I just want to explain a little bit better, because like I said, I just have ideas. And for this tutorial, for this beer video, I literally the night before all of a sudden came up with this idea and decided to make my video a lot more complicated. So now that I've done it, I have a little bit better of an idea so I can explain it a little bit better, because during the day, obviously I don't know how it's going to turn out. So now I can kind of explain things in a better way to you. So the first thing I want to say is, if you're going to do something like this, just prepare. If you want to make it good, it's going to take a lot of prep. It took me a lot of prep. I think it took us 6 hours before we got the first shot. The reason why that it was super difficult, it wasn't actually difficult to build the mirrors. So what I did is I took 3 mirrors and made them into a triangle. It was difficult because to try to figure out where I was going to place the product so it's viewable, but I also had to figure out the perfect distance for the TV and then also the distance for the prism itself. That was the hardest part about this. And then with that being said, I wanted to make sure that the lights were in the right positions, because I had to light the product right, but the whole thing was the prism was covering up everything. And if I put the lights in front of the prism, then it would be creating a reflection. So that was the most difficult part about it. And honestly, the process was really cool, and I couldn't imagine that the video would turn out as well as it did, because like I said, it was just an idea that I went off of. And that's what I want to inspire everybody else to do, is if you have an idea or a creative vision, go for it, try it out, see what happens. It's okay to fail, because failure is a step towards success. So keep creating.
The Eagle has landed.